All right, peace. It's Bronzebird here with another video. Before I begin, like and subscribe. So, along the way in America's fabric, always comes along these telltale signs of this type of racism that starts to come up on the boards to have a divide and conquer between so-called black and white people. Um, I hope y'all checked out one of my last few videos. The dichotomy between the black and white woman will always be funny. But I mean, look, I just find it. I just wanted to give my thoughts about this whole Haley Bailey situation. I don't know I really don't pay attention to a lot of this new stuff that's out here with Disney. I've been so disengaged with a lot of movies and shows that's been coming out recently because none of it is original. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple of shows that's really original, that's shaping the culture for American fabric and all these different things. But sometimes it's just that the problem with America, and this is why I made a series off of this, is that they're running out of ideas. They're running out of creativity. They have nowhere to turn. So in order to reshape and package more of the conversation to go forward and re-strategize the structure of entertainment, or I guess the culture, American culture, is to renew or repackage a lot of the films that was existence from like the 70s to the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Or usually ones that's very old, that's like, passed down from generation to generation. Now, the original Little Mermaid, I'm more than likely sure these were telltale signs that was passed down from generation to generation, made a movie out of it, then made a new movie out of it. See, especially because millennials like to have this conversation and say, oh, y'all redoing movies. But in the 90s, they redid movies too. Now, everybody who's so-called black remembers The Wiz was a blackified version of The Wizard of Oz that was from the 1940s. And then The Wiz came out in the 1970s, Diana Ross and whatever have you, right? So, as much as I can complain myself about how these remakes don't mean anything, I am so privy to understanding remakes usually come out when it comes to certain franchises and movies. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm used to that. So I'm not gonna sit here and complain about every single movie, but I do witness that there is a trend in my idea and understanding that certain movies need to be left alone. There doesn't need to be any remakes at all. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to give my opinion about the Disney Little Mermaid whole entire tale, my spins on it, and to give you a frontal view why this whole entire thing is a little bit funny to me. Why they would have something like the Little Mermaid come up, but at the same time, all this stuff about the dislikes and oh boy, I can go on for days about it. But I'm gonna share you my screen to give you my thought process on what is it that I'm talking about, so I can show you something that really had me like sit back and be like, what the hell is this? You understand? So I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm talking about. So Pete. So first I'm gonna read this article. And I mean, it's gonna be different once I show you exactly, because I'm gonna show you something that piqued my curiosity because it's something just doesn't sit right with this whole entire dislike on YouTube. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm gonna show you my tail signs on it and what is it, my thought process. So peep this. Disney's Little Mermaid trailer has 2.4 million dislikes on YouTube. September 17, 2022. Shout outs to Jordan Rumi. If you really want to divide and polarize America, then just do what Disney did. The Mouse House decided to cast R&B singer Haley Bailey to play Ariel in their live action remake of The Little Mermaid. The pursuits were angry. Purists were angry. The project will be Bailey's feature film debut. Disney hired hand Rob Marshall, Mary Poppins Returns, will direct, with Lin-Manuel Miranda penning brand new songs. Sounds like fun. And that dude, Lin-Manuel Miranda, that dude that's in Hamilton, I'm not gonna lie, he's a real talented dude. I'll give him that. But I start to try to analyze Haley Bailey, who's the twin to Chloe, I believe. and their programming that comes in from their handler Beyonce, putting them down to be in a lot of these films, to sexify their image from previously being these talented two sisters that were all about playing the violins, and now they get into all these like weird ass rituals in their songs, and sexifying their image, like I said earlier, and becoming more provocative and all this other stuff. I'll tell you this, all that sleazy shit that be going on with a lot of these women, I just don't see it. It's like, I'll be honest, it's not really pulling my attention. I guess because I'm older, but I mean, even still, it's like, what about it? The whole idea about sex sells is becoming very trite now, because a lot of women, I mean, the presence of OnlyFans and being able to have access to porn, and seeing the Instagram, TikTok, and all this other stuff. What else is new for the man to view that he already has an erection on an everyday basis, looking at these women that wear less clothing or shake their ass or do all these different things? It's no difference. In case you didn't notice, Bailey is African American. No shit. And Ariel is a character synonymous with white. No shit. Redhead culture. What does that mean? Whatever that means. A lot of movie fans wanted none of that this week and expressed their discontent, which resulted in 2.4 million dislikes of the trailer in YouTube. There is currently a 5-to-1 ratio of dislikes to likes, whereas others, especially the media, was celebrating the inclusive and diverse casting of the character. Me, I couldn't care less. It's just another mass-marketed Disney movie, although I do wonder if this casting will result in less tickets sold. There's clearly a backlash of fans overwhelming all efforts at this sort of inclusive casting. It's been occurring for 5 years now. YouTube took off the dislikes from the trailer, but Valiant News managed to find an internet extension that could provide the 2.4 million dislike stat. Valiant News was able to independently confirm the number of dislikes on the video by using a browser extension, despite YouTube's decision to block the dislike count. But this is what I want to show you as well, right? So this is where you can see the Little Mermaid trailer, official teaser trailer, right? Walt Disney Studios. This is what you see on your screen, right? I mean, obviously, obviously it's the dislike. If I dislike it, it's gonna say that. But if I do this, then obviously it's gonna be like. I'll give them a like just for a second, right? But this is something I've always wondered, and I need you guys to pay especially attention to this. Well, it's 20 million views, right? Now, take for example, just to give you an example on my backlog, my channel. Look at my channel content. All of this, right? Versus visibility restrictions, date, views, comments, likes versus dislikes. Now, this is a funny thing. Obviously, it says the 4 likes, the 20% would be the dislikes, right? But see how I got those comments? See how I got all that? You can only check it from here, right? You can check all that from here. And this is why I bring this up. How in the hell were they able to count the dislikes? How could the dislikes be visible if YouTube earlier this year already cut out the dislikes on YouTube in general? They removed the dislikes a while ago. So how could they be able to count those dislikes except for Valiant News doing what they did and getting that extension? See, I believe a lot of the time, all of this is narratives being pushed in order to have this whole entire PC culture come in, this woke culture come in, you understand? And then be able to have these false ass opinions about how they mad that Haley Bailey as a Black woman is going to be playing a mermaid when it was originally a so-called white woman from 1989 and all that other stuff. And I mean, did we complain about The Wiz? No, we didn't. We didn't complain about The Wiz. I don't know if people complained about The Wiz back then, being the blackified version of the Wizard of Oz, but nobody really cared. There's always been that diversity thing with inside Disney. My thing is, it's just corny that they always want to remake these films because they have nothing to go off of. They can't make a new Mermaid movie. They wouldn't even try, right? They can't come up with no new material. I'm just saying. I'm just a hard critic on that. But just to give my opinion, there's definitely something in the woodworks that I feel that they put out there to make everybody stand on edge and have the woke culture come in and sit up there and say, oh, you know, they just hating because a black woman is going to become a mermaid. And we so sick and tired of seeing white women as mermaids and all this other stuff. Like, there's a lot of stuff that goes into that conversation. But what I will tell you is if you want your child to go see that movie, hey, I'm not knocking you, and that's your business. I wouldn't get if I had children. I mean, I don't care. They could decide whatever they want. But I know for sure within my time, understanding how I was growing up and stuff like that, movies meant a lot. You understand? Um, you know, a lot of movies you felt something out of that. But the remakes, it's just kind of like, are we really doing this? And it's a consistent basis. It's not even like it's a sometimes basis. It's a consistent basis. But what will you find in a lot of these movies that's going to be coming out the rest of 2022 to 2023? It always has to apply to the agenda that they're putting out there. LGBTQ aligned, woke culture, proliferation of the so-called black woman, which you can see is going to be very profound when they come up with the woman king this year, especially with Viola Davis being in the front. All of that you're going to catch out there because they're going to make these agendas stand loud and tall and make sure that it's going to apply to their mission. Okay. So, I mean, there's no surprise of seeing the outrage of Little Mermaid. I think it's a contrived story. It's not real. The thing about it is that it doesn't make any sense to me. It never did because I don't think people really cared about having a big conversation about who's playing who in what film. You understand? So, my thing is, watch out. Don't leak into the bullshit. Just keep on about your day. Peace.